Okay, here we are, 2005 Honda. Pretty good car. Water pump problem. This car had a timing belt water pump put on it, not by me, somebody else, a while ago. And the person who owns the car has been seeing green drops on the ground intermittently. Every once in a while it'll piss a little fluid out, cooling out, and then it won't do it for a couple days. So I don't know how much you're going to learn from this video. There's a lot of videos I've seen out there how to replace these water pumps and such, and maybe you'll learn something from this video. But I think the biggest thing is how to understand why that the water or the fluid is, the coolant's dripping out of it. And if you take a look at the water pump, I got one right here. Let me put this down somewhere. If you take a look at this water pump and the way they're made, okay, this runs off the timing belt, and no doubt there's a bearing in there, of course. But what happens when the bearing starts going bad, the bearing has a seal. And when the bearing goes bad, water gets from this side where the impeller is to the other side of the bearing, which is this side. And you can see this little tube right here. Hopefully you can see that little tube right there. Hopefully I don't have too much sun on it. But there's a little tube right here, a little cast part, and there's a hole right there. And what happens when water goes from this side of the bearing, the seal goes bad in the bearing, water's going through the bearing to the other side of the bearing, and there's another seal there which I guess doesn't go bad. But anyway, there's a little hole here, and what that does, it drips water or coolant on the ground, so you can see it and say, hey, I got a water pump problem coming up here. And that's what we're seeing. So if you ever work on any kind of dirt bikes or whatever, they have the same type of thing. It's a little weep hole, it's called, and that's what it's there for. Obviously this thing is so deep in there, you got to basically take the motor mount out. Basically you got to go in through the muffler and get the stupid thing out, but whatever. But you don't see the water pump, or you don't see the weep hole, because there's a big plastic cover that goes over all this crap. But you do see water coming out at the bottom of the plastic cover, down by where the bottom belt pulley is. So anyway, if anything else from this video, maybe you won't get too much out of it, but at least hopefully I can explain this weep hole a little bit. I know a lot of people are confused why they're seeing water. They just think it's a catastrophic leak, and by all means it isn't a good leak. You got to get the thing worked on. But you see a few drips one day, then you don't see them. And you see them again, sometimes the seal works, sometimes it doesn't, but the main thing is it's going. So what I did, just to give you a little idea here, this water pump, if you buy it from your auto parts store, costs like 40 bucks, 35 bucks or whatever. You're not going to be able to replace just a water pump. I don't think that's a good idea. So what I did off of eBay, I got the kit. It comes with a timing belt, water pump, all the seals. We'll see if it has all the seals. Everything you need to do the job. It has a new tensioner, which has that little clip in there. It looks like a hand grenade clip. But anyway, all the parts are in this kit. Again, for 68 bucks, I don't think I'd go wrong. So if you're going to do the water pump in the car, and I'm not sure if all cars are like this, but if you're going to do the water pump in this car, you should plan on doing the timing belt and the tensioner also. So, okay, let me get at it. Hope you enjoy. Okay, here we're into tearing the car apart a little bit, and it's it's going like it usually goes. You gotta fight with a little bit, but we're making progress. But I want to show you one thing I'm seeing. They got these motor mounts. We're gonna have to take this motor mount off, and this motor mount's actually busted. You can see the rubber there. Anyway. But the thing keeping me from getting it out is this stud right here. So I found, probably a lot of people do it, but maybe you'll learn from this. If you put two nuts on here, one below and one above on that stud, basically it's a blind stud. Now you tighten them down. Now you can get under that bottom stud, or that bottom nut with your wrench, and you can loosen that stud up and take it out, and now I'll be able to pull that motor mount right out of there. So I put two nuts on there, and I'll pull the stupid thing out. 1 second. So here's that stud. You can see I put a nut on the bottom, nut on the top, tighten them both together, and I wanted the stud to go out, so I wanted to turn it that way. So I put my wrench right here and spun it out. Basically it's a blind stud. So now if you look at my motor mount, I just pull it right out of there. The motor mount's good. Again, I got the bracket, I should say. The rubber motor mount is it has a it's not quite meeting requirements here, so it looks like I'll have to see if I can get one. You can see it's all, I think you can see it's all cracked right there. So anyway, cute little tip. I don't know if I have to take this off or not, but we'll figure it out and let you know. Okay, here's the water pump we got out, and I guess I should have shown you the other one first, the good one. But what you'll see with these is you can see how I can spin it. That's just spinning way too easy, and you can just feel the smallest amount of play in this thing, and that'll tell you that you know, that thing's going bad. You know, you spin it like this. I can't really spin it very well. You spin it like that, and it spins that easy. It's going bad. And on this pump right here, it's a little bit different than the one I got. Right from my thumbnail, you can just see it. That's the weep hole right there. So this is, if this was in the car, you'd be looking up at it. So a little bit of a little bit of antifreeze comes out of there. Whenever the seal on this bearing here goes bad, it gets past the seal, it gets to this hole, comes out, drips on the ground, and it's just giving you a heads up, saying, you know, the car ain't blowing up yet, but you better get at it. So this has been leaking for about a month. I've been telling the old man about it. He hasn't been listening, but now it's getting big enough of a puddle that he can see it. So we're taking care of it. So we'll button it back up and see if it runs. Here's another little quickie. These have just like the smallest timing marks in the world. There's one right at the flat right here, right by my finger, which you probably can't see because the light's not on it. And there's also one on the opposite side. That one might be a little more visible. Okay. That's your cam timing. And I'll also show you the crankshaft. It is a pain in the ass to see. Here we are down at the crank, and you can see a little line right there at the top of that gear. And right above it, right by that rubber cog, is like a tiny little line. This car has a little bit of sheet metal in the way. So, I mean, I don't know if you can see it better, but it's right in there. Once you get the belt off, you can sort of see where it is. And but anyway, it is a pain to see. So, hope this has been helpful. Again, I don't really show taking the whole thing apart because hopefully you have enough experience to get it. But if I do see something tricky, like getting those blind bolts out and such, I don't mind sharing that, and hopefully you get a kick out of it and maybe use it someday. So I think that's about it. So have a nice day. Bye.